My boy's back. It's me again, Tav Williams, and only my second time ever in Dyffryn Gardens in the separatist Vale of Glamorgan. My hope is that I will find Andrew R.T. Davis in his natural habitat where I can jump out and scare him. Boo! A glorious day, and there's only one place to be, in parks and gardens, not far from the water. Cost me £12.50 to get in today, because I'm not a taxpayer. I'm a lazy, no good for nothing dough-light scrounger. I rocked up and I said, standard admission please, £12.50. Still a lot for somebody like me, but less than the advertised £15.40, I think it was. Something to do with VAT on tourist attractions between June and September. Why is this only my second ever visit to Dyffryn Gardens, having lived in the People's Republic of Grangetown for 30 years? Well, I'll tell you the story. Don't want to see me, you want to see Dyffryn Gardens. I couldn't help singing Hong Kong Garden by Susie and the Banshees. Dyffryn Gardens, da 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 da. Dyffryn Gardens, da 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 da. So, why is it only my second time? Well, the cost, obviously, and the one and only time I came before, I came in the company of a narcissist. Da 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 da. Yeah, true. Now, I don't think I've talked about narcissists in any meaningful way on this channel. I've talked about people pleasers, as I am a people pleaser in recovery, and people pleasers tend to fall prey to narcissists because they've both experienced the same childhood wound. Now, I look back, and during my 33 odd years, and they were very odd, in the People's Republic of Grangetown, I only got to know this narcissist perhaps for the last 10, 15, but that was long enough. Luckily, we weren't a romantic couple, because that's how a narcissistic relationship normally works. No, we were neighbours, and he'd sussed me out as a soft lad. Yes, a strange location to be talking about narcissists, but I thought the juxtaposition was rather opportunistic on my behalf, and also the good and the bad. The narcissist lures you in, and you're charmed by the narcissist. You feel special. You feel chosen. Marvellous location to do a video, but have you got enough to say? Back to narcissists. Yeah, they lure you in, they charm you, it's a charm offensive. They can identify that in some way, male or female, that you are vulnerable in some way, that you are emotionally wounded, and you require a friend, you require support. And initially, that's what they seem to offer. You believe that by you being yourself and by being vulnerable in front of them, that you're on the path to healing. But unfortunately, you have been ensnared. And it really is exhausting to be in a relationship with a narcissist, because you feel that you've met somebody who you can pour your heart out to, but big mistake, because by pouring your heart out to them, you are giving them ammunition to use against you later. Walking around here now reminds me of the one and only other time that I came here. And I remember walking around that particular bit with my neighbour in tow. And I remember being very, I wouldn't say stressed, but I was dan strained. I was under strain, because with a narcissist, you're always forever walking on eggshells. You're not sure whether the next question you ask is going to be met with a tyrannical riposte. I mean, these are mini tyrants. Narcissists are mini tyrants. It is a forever cycle of good cop, bad cop. I mean, the victim, or shall we say the supply, a narcissist's supply is usually mellow, fairly laid back, relaxed, but they are vulnerable. And again, male or female, the narcissist tunes in to that vulnerability. They hone in and they make you captive. This is where the power of a narcissist, they actually take you prisoner. So even though my neighbour lived 4 or 5 doors down, I became actually a prisoner, because I'd never know when he was going to knock. And that was one of the tactics. He would always doorstep you. And this is what narcissists do. They alight upon you like a vulture alights upon its prey at any time of the day. Or at night. They might ring you at night. And that's when you know the alarm bells should start to ring. There are two refrains that spring to mind. People in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. And narcissists are as prickly as a cactus. Seeing the little bird in the glass house, even though the windows are open, there's plenty of room for it to escape. It's making me think about being a prisoner and you not realising it. The narcissist, like certain plants, will show its best colours. And you will be sort of swayed and taken in by the best colours, like a peacock showing its feathers. But the reality is, nobody can keep that kind of act up. And that's when the supply, the victim, must escape. This particular narcissist, in my experience, was as prickly as a cactus. General bonhomie, hail fellow, well met. But you asked the wrong question, you said the wrong thing, and the prickles would come out. There's a school of thought that states that we're all a little bit narcissistic. Narcissus nasturtium. I would hope that that's not true, because it's a sad state of affairs if a human being, on meeting another human being, their mindset is, how can I manipulate this person? How can this person be advantageous to me? How can I break this person? That's how narcissists think. Especially the dangerous, well, they're all dangerous. Narcissists are dangerous. But the narcissist where there's no hope of redemption. A narcissist keeps you in their dungeon. Male or female, I don't think narcissism is gender specific. We just tend to hear more of the male on female narcissism, where it's a form of domestic abuse. But male on male narcissism is real. Female on female, it's about power. And the narcissist has never had the opportunity to wield any power. They have some kind of I was going to say deformity, but you could call it emotional or mental deformity. Their wound from childhood has led them into a false coping strategy, a very negative coping strategy, where their raison d'etre, where their dopamine hit, where their serotonin supply comes from manipulating other people, causing other people fear. And it's very difficult to sort of understand And it's embarrassing. I'm sure I sort of came across narcissists, but they must have seen me as a, as a lost cause. I mean, I was too sort of wound up in my own mood disorder, in my own neurodivergence. And therefore, it was only when I was on the healing journey, and this is what makes it all the more chagrin inducing. It's like a chateau this behind me, isn't it? This is what makes it all the more anger inducing, is that you've come through a dark tunnel and you think you're healing, and then you're spotted. A narcissist has spotted you, and you are to be his supply, because you're still vulnerable. You cannot forgive a narcissist for what they've done. You can think about why they did it, and you can understand their wound. But there's no point feeling sorry for them or feeling compassion for them, because the smart advice is go no contact.